So to pick up, because it's opened up so much and everybody has led, a couple of days ago in New York, I was in a taxi and I was going to work, to the office. It was very early. It was a very cold day, very, very cold, some ice on the ground. And I started to, in my mind, I don't know why, start thinking about my business and things that maybe I should have done in the past. And all of a sudden I said, why am I going backwards? And I started doing that game you had mentioned once about doing 10 things I like, and I started to shift. And all of a sudden, in the cab, we got straight to Fifth Avenue, and there was Central Park. And it was a gray day. The trees are still brown. But all of a sudden, the trees became alive and more beautiful than I had ever witnessed in my life. I noticed the shape of the branches, the bark, what was growing. You could almost see where the leaves were going to be and how it was going to be shaded, and it was incredible. It was almost as if a symphony was being played of vibrations, nothing that you could hear, but you could feel it, and everything was alive and in motion and moving. And then as we passed Central Park West and I was moving on, it went. But it wasn't a sadness, it was just felt like, okay, I had a great experience, and for the first time it felt that's normal. And then the day went on, and it was beautiful, but it was just an incredible experience.
When those things happened to Esther, something like that happened just this last week, we were describing earlier. She described it, it felt like she went through a portal where everything was transformed. But the way we've described that before is it was a moment in time when in your connection you were seeing the world through the eyes of Source.
Yeah.
What a wonderful explanation of how that happened. You started out a little bit responding to life, and then you caught yourself, because you're sensitive to emotion, and decided not to respond to life, not to respond to what is, but to get out ahead of it. And that's why you applied a process that you've practiced before that did get you out ahead of it. So you sort of quantum leaped vibrationally, is the best way of describing it, and then had an affirming manifested experience. There you were having that experience. Nice.
Oh, it's incredible.
And
it felt almost as if that's like, is it part of how we think of eternity, of our eternal beings? Like that vibrations that were going on and that aliveness.
We have some questions for you. Someone asked the question earlier, how can I stay there? So I get there, and how can I stay there? Which is what Esther's saying when she says, maybe I'll just get Abraham and let Abraham live my life. But do you think, we're asking, we're really not wanting to put words in your mouth. Well, we are, sort of. Didn't the contrast make that moment in time more?
Yes, much more.
And could it have been as sweet without having had experiences that were otherwise? And even in that moment in time when it wasn't, and then it was, and then it wasn't so much. Isn't that all part of the texture of life experience that helps you to focus?
Very much
and
so.
Isn't knowing that that's who you really are and catching glimpses of the perfection, in other words, you caught a glimpse of the perfection of that moment in time. You in a car, in a city, on a street, looking into a place, having that experience. But from a satellite dish world or universal point of view, that was a very specific moment in time that behaved perfectly for you, that you allowed to be perfect for you. Now, right now, step back just a little bit into the business thoughts that you were having earlier. And wouldn't it be sweet if, instead of, as well as, we don't mean instead of, don't want to minimize the fabulousness of that moment in time, but likewise a moment in time when you see the perfection of your business, a moment in time when you see the perfection of the world economy, a moment in time when you understand the perfection of the blending of humanity on this planet, because it's easy in these days to get far, far, far away from that. So if you can catch a glimpse of alignment relative to the park you're looking into, You can find glimpses of alignment into the business that you're looking into the economics of the world that you're looking into the well-being of children that you're looking into. In other words, it doesn't matter what the topic is. When you get tuned in, tapped in, turned on, can you imagine seeing humanity the way you saw that park? Can you imagine how much you put into your vortex and how wonderful that would feel? You saw the park the way your inner being always sees the park. Wouldn't you like to see economy the way your inner being always sees economy? Wouldn't you like to see your bank account the way your inner being sees your bank account? Wouldn't you like to see your relationships the way your inner being sees your relationships? Wouldn't you like to see politics the way your inner being sees politics? Or religion, or? Yeah.
Very much so. Thank you.
Okay, I wanted to thank you. I was in the hot seat 2 years ago. I got the exact job I wanted to get. I'm traveling. I got the highest salary I ever got, and I just got a raise 3 weeks ago. Thank you for that.
That's the way, and you're just scratching the surface.
My question is about love and passion. At 17 or 18 years old, I was in love with basketball. And one day, I wasn't in love with it anymore. And I witnessed that with certain things in my life, particularly friendships and different things that I've had interest in, like fitness and other things. And I'm wondering if that's an example of the vehicles that you were talking about.
It is.
I'm using those vehicles to go different places.
Yes.
But what gets me is the fact that it's around strong emotions like love and passion.
Well, we want to clarify something, but the last statement that you made here makes us understand that you've got it. And so this clarification is not so important for you, but we're going to make it anyway. So you're in love with something. You're all tuned in, tapped in, turned on, crazy about it. And then one day you're not in love with it anymore. But the question that we want to ask is, what are you now in love with more? Because if you fall out of love with something, it could be because you've focused upon the negative aspects of it, or you've felt disappointed by it. You've just grown weary of disconnection, and that disconnection is what's watered down your passion, and that's why you're not in love with it. Can you hear that? Where if you're in love with something, but then you're in love with something more, it's like vehicles. So that first vehicle was so great because you were walking before that. And then Esther will never forget slipping into that Audi R8 and what it felt like. She'd been driving a 45-foot Prevost bus towing a car behind it for 10 years. And now she's in this low profile, incredibly engineered vehicle that would do anything she wanted to do. She really felt like if she wanted to be over there, that it could leap lanes and do it. In other words, it felt so agile. And her enthusiasm for that improved vehicle was enormous. But there's a difference between falling out of love with something and falling in love with something more. So, of course, best thing is falling in love with something more, and in love with something more, and in love with something more, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Doesn't that feel like the logical path? If you are an eternally evolving being, and there is nothing that you cannot be or do or have, and once you get a handle on that, isn't it logical that things would just become more and more and more and more and more? You've tapped in your question, by the direction and words in your question, to what we know to be the key to living happily ever after. The words love and passion, to us they mean the same. Love is complete intertwining with source energy, and passion is too. Passion is that intense sort of clarity that comes from a sustained vibrational pattern of being in vibrational compatibility with that higher vibration. And so anything that you feel passionate about is a wonderful thing. But Don't ask yourself to go from 0 to passion in any moment of time. Let passion and alignment be your quest or your intention, and then trust that your inner being knows how to lead you there. And this is the one key of something that you might do rather than just being called, and that is just decide to tune yourself to positive aspects. Just decide that you're going to praise more often than criticize. Meditate. Do the work that keeps you in the vicinity of your inner being, and then that passion and that love will be something that is consistent and sustainable for you. Noticing the improvement as you make the association, as you make the correlation between the upliftment that you felt and the fun that we had as we moved through this day and the seeming coincidences that are leaning in your favor, then you just feed that momentum more and more and more and more and more. When you walked in the door, nothing needed to be fixed, but you came for clarity, and we know you found it. And while you can find some helpfulness from analogies that we offer and stories that we tell about Jerry and Esther and others, and examples that you experience the demonstration of as people are sitting here in the hot seat, your true understanding comes from you identifying and then isolating, which just means practicing a frequency that has more fun in it or more relief in it than you're accustomed to, and then noticing the difference that that shifting in vibration makes. That's what deliberate creation is. It's pre-manifestational creation. We're going to say something for the first time ever. Pre-manifestational creation is what we mean by getting out ahead of it, because it is the manifestation. Did you follow that? And post-manifestational awareness is reaction. Reacting to what's happened. And when you react to what happens, can you feel how it gets muddied up with what happened? But when you get out ahead of it, can you feel how much clearer it is? So if we were standing in your physical shoes, this is what we would do. We would meditate every morning for 15 or 20 minutes, which just means find something to focus on that isn't interesting, like the hum in the air conditioner or a flicker of a flame or something. Count your breathing, it doesn't matter. Just something that isn't meaty and isn't interesting. Meaty meaning interesting, isn't interesting, but gives you a reason to focus until you get to the place today or tomorrow or the next day or 2 weeks from now where during meditation you feel a detachment from this physical experience, where you have no awareness of the seat beneath you, or you can't really tell your nose from your toe. In other words, you're sort of detached from it. That's a really good indicator that you have disassociated with the vibrational frequencies of resistance. And then don't try to make anything happen. Even noticing that that has happened may distract you from that. But then just let that be what you mean to do every day at the beginning of the day for 15 or 20 minutes, because what that does, that gets you out ahead of it. That puts you in a place where it's more likely for you to receive the thoughts that your inner being is thinking about what you're about than you reacting. Now, that doesn't mean that you won't still react. It just keeps the odds up for you. It just puts you in a better position of receiving from your inner being. The next thing that we would do on a really regular basis is we would make lists of positive aspects about this and that and this and that and this and that and that person and that person. We would identify a vibrational frequency in ourselves about those other people that feels good to us when we identify it. And we would practice it until our opinion of them is separate from their behavior. Hardly anybody ever does that. And that's why people keep acting the way you expect them to act. And this isn't about you changing their behavior. This is about you not reacting to them to your detriment. Did you hear that? We're not encouraging you to do this for the purpose of changing them so that then they'll behave better so that you can react to their behavior and feel better. That's not what we're talking about at all. We're talking about you practicing a vibration that is helpful to you and to them too, but helpful to you.